Hi guys, today we are going to go to the chapter metals and non-metals, which you might have started in class 8, but you're going to study in even now also in class 10th also. But in class 8 you were having just a brief introduction, but now in class 10th you are going to know about the chemical equations, how metals and non-metals have been extracted from the soil, and so on. And from exam point of view, this chapter is important. It's like very much important, and you must always cope up with the chemical formulas which are being used in this chapter and even in the other chapters. So first of all, let us go through the introduction of this chapter, which is very much important. So before plunging into any chapter, you must have the complete introduction about the chapter. The introduction which I am going to give, it might not be in your NCERT, but no worries. The introduction which I'm going to give is just basic information. It's not from exam point of view, but you must know the introduction. So let us start. So here is a timetable. Here is a timeline given about the metals, how metals came into this, how we are being using the metals. So first of all, it was the time of Stone Age. People were using all the stuff called stones for as a weapons. Then the period began called Chalcolithic Age. What is this Chalcolithic Age? It's a new word which you might not have heard. So Chalcolithic Age means copper. We are using copper and even stone for making up the weapons. We are going to know about this. Then comes the Bronze Age, and then finally we started using iron, and then this goes on. So let us begin. So in Stone Age, so first of all, it was the time for Stone Age. Okay, so Stone Age means, what does the Stone Age mean? So initially what was happening, that people were using up the weapons which were made up of stones. You might have read about this in your previous classes in class 7, that you might have read that people were making up their weapons in ancient times. All those Adivasis, we can say, they were making up their weapons with the help of these stones, and they were hunting the animals and they were getting the food and so on. But what's the thing is that the people noticed at that time that these stones were not that hard. They broke out easily. I would say that they were not having much force of attraction, right? There was no that much stamina in those stones. Then they were in a discovery, and they find out something called as a copper metal. So then started making up the weapons. See, these are the weapons, set of weapons which they made in the ancient period. So then they started making up the weapons with the help of the copper and Stone Age. So that is why that period is known as Chalcolithic Age. So this might be a new word for you all, but chalco means copper and lithic means stone. It means they were making up their weapons with the help of copper and stones, but they were also not successful. So then they saw that they were having the pure copper, right? So they saw that this pure copper, it is soft too, and it is ineffective. It is ineffective for using as a weapon tool, right? It was soft and it can't be used. It can be used, but it's not that much effective that it can be used for hunting and any other process which they practice. So then what happened is that they started making up their alloys. They found out something new. They were using copper alloy and tin. So what they do, that they were making an alloy of copper and and they were making up and adding tin, which formed something called as bronze. So bronze is an alloy which is formed by copper, combination of copper and a tin. So then bronze was in the picture. They started using bronze, and they found that this bronze is all right. They were enjoying. So they saw that this bronze is harder, and along with hardness, it is forging. What does this forging means? Forging means if this is a bronze, if this is bronze alloy, anything, they are able to shape it out according to their need. They were able to shape it out according to their need. They were making it in the way they wanted. So that was the one of the benefit which they were getting from bronze. And another benefit is that bronze can also be used for casting or molding. But as we know that discoveries come and go on and on and on. So then they started using iron metal. They saw that except bronze there is something more good, and that is iron. So now they started making up the weapons finally with iron. Okay, this was the period of Iron Age. So there is benefit of using iron also. So iron is superior, means it is far more better than bronze in terms of hardness, right? Then what happened is that the extensive use of iron in different applications began the Iron Age. So now so when they started making up use of iron, that period was known as Iron Age. So what we have started so far, we have started something called as a Stone Age, where people were using stones to make up their weapons, and then we started Chalcolithic Age, and after that we discussed about Bronze Age, which was made up of something called as copper and tin, and finally it was the time of Iron Age. Then what happened there? So now what we saw? We saw that different set of metals, depending on the properties which were used in the prehistoric ages, means in the ancient times, people were using different metals to make up their weapons. So then what happened? That's all. So now here is a table of some metals and non-metals which you must know, which you must remember. So first is aluminium, copper, lead, tin, zinc, gold, silver, iron, bronze and lithium. Then non-metals: oxygen, wood, glass, plastic, rubber, polythene, chlorine, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen. So a question may come that who came first, neither metals or non-metals? So the answer is non-metals. Non-metals came first. Here you must highlight, I would like to highlight this point, oxygen. So this oxygen was present on earth when the universe was formed. It means oxygen was first, and oxygen comes under non-metals. It means non-metals came first and then metals were in the discovery, right? So I would say, I would mark it as a star that you must remember this table. So guys, we are going to discuss about what are non-metals, what are metals, and we have discussed about from where they come. So we have discussed from where they came, and we are going to discuss more about when, how can we extract out, and why. Some set of questions also we are going to discuss. So please do watch next video for the further information and for the chemical reactions which are present in this chapter. And thank you for watching, and please do subscribe.